In this episode, I go to a podcast studio to find out what it's really like. I'm going to try and get some tips and get some advice that might be useful, and also have a look behind the scenes.
Multiple different ways, depends on who you are. If you just want to talk and you don't want to necessarily get involved in the behind the scenes stuff, then you'd have to just create an amazing personality. But with that personality, you're gonna have to learn how to grow that. So you probably would have to know how to get into the behind the scenes stuff. You'd have to have some understanding. You get it? If you just want to be a personality, if you want to get into podcasting in terms of taking things to a different level, maybe building your own brand, then just look what the first and foremost is look what's out there. Look what's out there. Look what interests you. You know, just look at it with a different eye. Look at things from a different eye. Like see like what's happening behind the scenes. Just notice little movements here and there, and then from the back of that, you'll build up a little bit of an experience in your head as to what's expected. You get what I'm saying? And then from there, just researching and buying equipment, and then utilizing what you got around you. And then it's the finer details. It's the finer details that's going to separate you from the rest. I believe that a lot of people want to start podcasts or do podcasting, yeah, but it's because they see other people doing it, but then they don't understand what's making other people's platforms better than others, or what's giving other people more influence than others, or what's giving a finer finish. You know what I'm saying? A better quality than others. You get what I'm saying? They don't look at those finer details, and that's where people go wrong. I'm just going to tell you how I've personally seen it over the last few weeks, because we've had the biggest weeks that we've had. We've had times where, like, YouTube money, yeah, it's not that good if you don't understand what you're doing. Do you get it? And then I've realised it actually can be that good. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, over the last week, we've had Pinky on the show, and we've had big spikes. Obviously, Pinky knew what was going to happen. Everyone knew what was going to happen based on the controversy in it. So a couple of the titles that we had spiked, a couple of the 8-minute clips to go over like 20k views, 40k views. You get what I'm saying? With that, yeah, has come like certain days where we made like almost £300 for the day. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, why can't I just repeat that? Why can't I just get £300 every day? And I'm looking at the views and I'm thinking, if that made £300 that day from that analytics, let me look on Bouncer's page. He's doing something similar. He had 4 times that. He had 4 times that views off his recent videos. Yeah, bearing in mind his other videos are probably getting played as well. So if we made £300, he's probably made close to £1,000. He's probably making close to £1,000 a day, because I see that he's upped his work rate to like 4 videos a day. Yeah, so he's obviously chasing targets himself. You get me? I don't know if that's the truth. I'm just going off what I can see. You get me? So if he's chasing targets of £1,000 a day or whatever, why can't we do that? It's the hardest to get off the ground, but it's got the biggest ceiling in terms of the biggest reward. Once you get going, because obviously it's endless. You're getting paid off views, sponsorship, products. There's multiple ways that you can get paid. So yeah, it's got the biggest ceiling. Technically, I'm starting again. I'm starting again right now. I just done a finance episode. That's episode number 2. I've split all of the podcasts up into individual podcasts now. It's not all under one hub. It used to be a men's lifestyle podcast network. I don't even think it's that no more. The main show is a street culture podcast. The finance show is finance. You get it? So we've now took apart the men's lifestyle podcast network and put it into individual sections, which is finance, mental health, sports, and street culture. The reason why I'll do that is algorithms. Like, it can be very confusing, giving people a lot of information. Sometimes you gotta realize that your audience is a bit more stupid than you think. They just need things easily digestible. So me trying to give them mental health tips alongside finance and entertainment is too much. Like, you just need to break it down. You need to understand people's attention spans and how you can, get engagement and grab an audience. And it's going to be easier done by focusing on what works rather than what doesn't. Going against the algorithms is not the best idea. Tips. Like I said, if you're going to read those books, yeah, and you're going to listen to some of these people, you still got to relate back to you in some way, or you still got to figure things out. Don't read a book or listen to someone and tell you what they're going to do and think copying their blueprint is going to get you where you need to go. You need to figure it out. You need to make that information work for you And that's where a lot of people go wrong with a lot of these book readings and thingies. They just start copying exactly what the book says, and sometimes you're misinterpreting it. You know what I mean? Just make it relate to you. That you're going to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, but you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So if you really want it to work, you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I feel like that relates to any kind of podcast. It doesn't matter if it's the type that we do or it's something a bit more nice. Do you get it? In order for you to figure out how to get the best out of it, if that's what you want, then you might have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and that means maybe putting yourself in front of the camera. That means maybe learning how to edit. That means maybe learning how to formulate a podcast, maybe a script, maybe speaking to certain type of guests that you've never thought you'd speak to before. There's so much parts of it that you're gonna have to be that you may have been uncomfortable with that you need to get comfortable with. That's it. Someone who's willing to figure things out. I was just speaking to Maddie on the podcast earlier, and she was naming a lot of names. Gary Vee. Who else did you name? Your names? Yeah. And so it just made me know that you understand the space. You're doing research to be in the space. Those type of people, you need to want to do research in the area that you're in. You need to understand who's in that space and how you can, stamp your mark in that space. If you're not doing the research, forget it. If you're just going to see someone podcasting and think, I want a podcast, and that's it, forget it, bro.
In urban culture, what do you guys think about that?
I'd say he's right,
At the moment, he's top 2 or 3, and he's a front runner, isn't it?
Okay then, so before we go into so much of the opinions, Jazz, who actually is Bouncer for those that don't know who Bouncer even really is?
So Bouncer, aka Bouncer Play Dirty, is actually one of the UK's most entrepreneur and influencers who's made a serious move in the scene. He came up from the roads and also did a stint in prison, but that was before he turned his life around, so that doesn't even matter. But once he became the CEO of Krypton Conan, Play Dirty music label, and co-owner of the Wicked and Bad entertainment brand. So he's really done quite a lot in the industry so far. So what he's doing right now is a big impact also. So.
Why would you guys call him powerful? Because you guys agreed with it, so why do you think that?
Go on, Speed, you go first and I'll say mine.
Obviously it's the Play Dirty thing. It started off from that, and it, like, from my perspective anyway, it's like, obviously he's got big links within the scene. He's come out of jail. The whole Krypton Conan thing, like they've got all their links. You can clearly see that they've shared them with him. Obviously, you know what it is. He always says, like you don't need nobody, or he's not used. No one ain't really helped him like that. But clearly, just the affiliation alone.
The affiliation with them helped him a lot. I know one thing. I know that when he was in prison, he was running events company. Made over 100 bags on it from prison. Obviously, they was doing all of that. Obviously, he's got the ideas. They put it to life on the outside. Also, I've watched interviews where he's definitely said that Conan, especially, used to come into a lot of the meetings with him when he used to Dig that was his artist. So they've helped him. You're right. Still.